Life-threatening flash flooding returned to the Mississippi and Ohio valleys Friday night, amid what officials warn could be part of historic flooding for the region.
Like literally the whole town.
The National Weather Service issued multiple flash flood emergencies, their most dire flooding alerts, 4 towns in 3 states Friday night, as torrential rains led to life-threatening flooding. In Missouri, tens of thousands in Cape Girardeau and Van Buren were under flooding emergency Friday night. Cape Girardeau reported over 3 inches of rain in just over 90 minutes late Friday evening in one burst, with emergency managers reporting at least 10 roads covered in water and ongoing water rescues. Farther south, forecasters issued similar dire warnings for the Texarkana region of northeastern Texas and southwestern Arkansas, where 2 to 4 inches of rain fell and water rescues were ongoing as well. This is a particularly dangerous situation, NWS officials warned. Seek higher ground now. Highlighting the dangerous weather around the region, there were concurrent tornado warnings just 20 to 40 miles away from the Missouri flood alerts.
Yeah, got a river in the street.
Outside the flash flood emergencies, the National Weather Service offices in Little Rock, Arkansas, and Paducah, Kentucky, highlighted a widespread, particularly dangerous and life-threatening flash flooding situation. A 9-year-old boy in Frankfort, Kentucky was swept away by floodwaters around 6:30 a.m. Friday while he was on his way to the school bus stop in the Hickory Hills area of the city, police said. He was found dead a few hours later. Hopkinsville, Kentucky, was also flooded early Friday morning. City officials told local media that approximately 60% of the downtown was underwater and a building had collapsed due to the heavy rain. A woman had to be rescued from floodwaters in her home and another from a car. Hopkinsville officials said that at least 12 people were rescued from flooding early Friday. Mayor James Knight Jr. said this is the worst flooding the town has endured in nearly a decade. We haven't seen it since 97, 96, somewhere right there like that, Knight Jr. said during an interview with Fox Weather. I've lived here all my life. It is something I hope to never see again.
Completely flooded.
Floodwaters surrounded some homes and inundated cars in Van Lear, Kentucky, prompting the rescue of 6 people, according to local rescue officials. More than 7 inches of rain fell earlier this week in western Tennessee, triggering flooding in Nashville. The Nashville Fire Department performed more than a dozen water rescues on Thursday as cars became stuck in floodwaters. By Thursday afternoon, creeks and rivers had already overflowed their banks in Memphis. Flooding was also impacting Indiana, where officials in the city of Shelbyville and Shelby County were encouraging residents in low-lying areas to head to higher ground. The nearby Big Blue River in Shelbyville was expected to reach at least major flood status over the weekend and peak just shy of the record.
April 3rd, 2025.
The dire flooding threat stretches through the weekend. Repeating rounds of rainfall will lead to potentially historic amounts, particularly focused on the lower Ohio Valley, Mid-South, and Ozarks, according to the Forecast Center. Storm total rain amounts of 5 to 15 inches are likely, and some locations may see up to 20 inches. Rainfall rates of 2 inches per hour or more will lead to rapid onset flash flooding, leaving people caught off guard by the speed of water rises. A level 4 out of 4 risk for flash flooding remains in effect Saturday for more than 5 million people. In addition, flood watches remain in effect for nearly a 1,000-mile stretch that includes parts of 12 states. The amount of rain will also trigger flooding in areas that do not usually flood, according to NWS forecasters. Total rainfall amounts through Sunday could exceed 10 to 15-inch range along and north of I-40, the NWS in Memphis said. This is not your average flood risk. Generational flooding with devastating impacts is possible. Saturday is the day that concerns me the most right now, said meteorologist Ryan Husted with the National Weather Service in Nashville. Because we have time for our atmosphere to recharge, which means we have the potential for dangerous, severe thunderstorms once again. In addition, our ground is saturated. That means any rain that falls will run off, and it's going to cause flooding. I'm very confident that Saturday is a dangerous day for flash flooding going into Saturday night. Meanwhile, a Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper shared video on social media of a car dealership underwater, where you can only see the tops of some cars. The Howell County Emergency Management said there have been roughly 5 or 6 water rescues in West Plains. The emergency manager also said a woman was hit by lightning in Moody, Missouri, and was taken to the hospital. The West Plains School District says the middle school FEMA shelter is open for residents. The Joplin Fire Department says its swiftwater rescue team has been requested to join a task force to help West Plains. The task force also includes crews from Reddings Mill, Neosho, Carl Junction, Logan Rogersville, and Battlefield Fire Departments. Several roads were closed as water rapidly rose through low-lying areas and near swollen creeks.
Straight down to the river.
In Pulaski County, several flash floods were reported, and several inches of rain fell in a very short time.
I'm surrounded all the way around.
In Springfield, a flash flood warning is in effect until 5 p.m. Friday. Some major routes in the city are already seeing water over the roadways, leading to traffic issues for drivers. Ozarks First is tracking rising water levels on roadways near National and Commercial Street, South National, along Glenstone Avenue, and along Chestnut Expressway. Springfield Public Works tells Ozarks First the intersections of Commercial and Grant and Commercial and National will be closed for the rest of Friday. Ozarks First crews are out in the field today, working to bring viewers the latest information on the heavy rains, flooding, and the potential for severe weather in our southeastern Ozarks counties. Meanwhile, the city of Salem has declared a local emergency effective immediately due to widespread flooding impacting many areas of the community. It remains in effect until 7 Saturday morning. Only emergency travel should be undertaken during this time. Mayor Nick Farley says roadways have become impassable and dangerous in multiple locations. Emergency services are currently inundated with calls and are working diligently to respond as quickly and effectively as possible. The city appreciates your patience and cooperation as city crews continue to prioritize the safety of all residents. Farley says they urge everyone to stay in a safe location, avoid flooded areas, and refrain from travel unless absolutely necessary. Salem Public Works Director Travis Sanders says the water over the spillway at the Salem Reservoir is believed to be at its highest level ever, around 30 inches over the spillway. The meter stopped working at 28 inches. Flood stage is 18 inches over the spillway. A total of 5 inches of rain has been received at the Salem Water Treatment Plant through 10 Friday night.
Right, so I got home from work at...
Water is now into some of the mobile homes in the Starlight Mobile Home Park, but all are believed to have been evacuated.
Like this, guys. What
Centralia Police and the Marion County Sheriff's Department are also asking people to stay off the road due to the number of flooded and impassable roads.
And the water is just
the Sheriff's Department and Aoka Fire Department completed one successful water rescue from a vehicle in deep water on B Branch Road in rural Aoka earlier Friday night. Marion County Sheriff Kevin Cripps says as of 10:30 Friday night, West Main and Death Valley on the west side of Salem, and the bridge on East Main east of the underpass that drains the CE. I Reservoir is impassable. North Broadway at Oglesby is also underwater, as is Route 37 south of Salem in usual flooding locations near Levee Road. Several residents on Camden Avenue in Buckhannon, West Virginia, say their homes have been flooded by recent rainfall, and it's only getting worse as time goes on. Melissa Moore, a resident on Camden, told local media that her basement has already been flooded 3 times in the 2 months she's lived there, and that she's been without hot water for nearly a week. Living across the street from Moore, J.W. Hayden said that what used to amount to a couple of inches of water in his basement has grown to a foot of water or more, causing damage to his walls that is worsening over time. We said when we bought the house, we knew it was a wet basement, and we would get inches of water down here, Hayden said. And now we'll get 18 inches of water in the basement. Helen Summers, a Camden property owner who grew up in Buckhannon and has lived there for the last 24 years, said that recent flooding is the worst she can remember since moving there. It's gotten worse. We have not ever had it this bad before, and the basement has not ever been this bad before, Summers said. 2 residents, Moore and her neighbor Joshua Pinchman, reached out to local media on Thursday, saying that the flooding they experience is chronic and help from the city has not been what they hoped for. Officials have helped in the past and were actively pumping water away from the area when local media arrived. However, Camden residents said that any help they receive only amounts to a stopgap solution, and the area continues to flood time and time again. I'd like to see people do their jobs and get this problem fixed so people's properties and livelihoods quit being ruined, Moore said. For years, my family and I have contacted the city. They know the problem. They know the sinkholes, the damaged storm water system. Unfortunately, they say it's not in the budget, Pinchman said in an interview with local media. Every time we have a substantial rain that lasts more than a half a day, it will start to back up and flood. If we get several days of rain, that's when it gets this deep and it starts getting into all the houses. Buckhannon Mayor Robbie Skinner III did provide a statement to local media on the Camden flooding, saying that remedying the situation will be a prolonged process due to the size and complexity of the storm water system in that area, but the city is doing what it can.
By the high school, it's washed out.
Unfortunately for residents, more rain is forecasted in the coming days and could add additional time and effort to finding a long-term solution to this problem.
Don't go any further. Oh man, this smells like 2017 all over again. This is so bad.